patent cross, steampunk. We build new things from old junk. Copper, brass, wood and leather. Patent cross, steampunk. Rolling art is our fun. Watch us as we put them all together.
Thanks for the cue there, chicken. On this episode of HCS Creates, we are going to build a superhero vehicle for a real-life superhero. So who is this real-life superhero, you ask? Well, I'm glad you did. You see, a couple of years ago, we met a young man who goes by the name of Mighty Matthew. And he really struck me back then as a real positive force of, well, positivity. So when I met him, it was really, and watched him over the years, the last couple of years online, it was just really moving and inspiring to see how positive he's able to stay throughout all of these operations and medical procedures and whatnot. So I got an idea in my head to build this this chopper. Okay, it's a mini chopper. Thank you there, chicken. My rooster is always correcting me. I've been wanting to build this mini chopper and for myself, but I really don't need another thing in the garage. I really don't. So I thought, you know what, I still want to build it. I've accumulated the things over the last couple of years. And but I'm going to build it for a cause, and I'm going to build it to raise awareness for an awesome organization called Tiny Superheroes, and then I'm going to give it to Matthew. And so I'm going to, once we figure out the design of what we want to do, we're going to enlist the help of some really amazing artists and fabricators to really take this little mini chopper that looks like I really dug it out of a trash can. It's pretty rough. We're going to clean it all up, we're going to soup it all up, and we're going to make it look like something worthy of an actual superhero, and then we're going to give it to him. And I'm just really excited. So let me show you what we got in store. So this is the chopper that I got off of a little online shopping place, local thing. I picked it up. I couldn't even tell you what I paid for it, but it was one of those. It didn't really run. It's got a lot of really high-tech engineering, like this, rubber band thingy, the zip ties. It's got some really high-speed stuff like duct tape, which, I mean, let's be honest, all builds should have some duct tape, just maybe not that prevalent. And I'm going to show you that. I'm going to demonstrate it, how it does with my 6'4", 250-pound butt zipping around the yards. The first thing I know I'm going to do is we're going to put this Honda Rebel gas tank on it. And then I was thinking, for it to be a superhero bike, it really needs to have some kind of outlandish comic book kind of styling about it. So the first idea I had was, well, what if I take these fiberglass fenders? I think they're called wheel skirts, but they're from a Piper Cub, a plane. And if I make my front fender like that, and then I put these up higher like this, then I've got a really exaggerated kind of Art Deco style, and if you come around to the back, and you can kind of see how this would have just a really cool tail section. This to me looks like it would be a really awesome design. So we, the very first step of doing this is going to be taking off the seat and sending it to this guy right here.
Me.
If you haven't seen some of the wicked upholstered seats of Hat and Cross steampunk vehicles, or if you have seen them and you've drooled, it's because this guy made them. So Mike,
Yeah.
PARODI, aka the Colonel,
Army.
of Master Creations, does some really wicked upholstery.
Thanks.
And he is going to do the seat.
So what we'll be doing here is we'll be making a pattern off this to make this better and much more professional looking and more fitting of a superhero. And there's also some reworking that's going to have to be done on this seat as well. So we have the upgraded seat. I added more foam padding where it gets into the gas tank. And so now seat's been rebuilt. This is how the seat cover will fit. And so there it is, completely done and ready to put on the seat. You can see the lines are pretty equal, and this distance here is equal.
And so in order to kind of beef up the stability, I want to see if I can take this little cart, make it a little bit like a trike, so it'll give them a little bit more stability, and I'll be able to use my really cool fiberglass plain skirts, I think they're called, the little fenders. We'll be able to go over that, and then we'll make some sort of really cool kind of really cool back end. Alright, so cleaned up the frame a little bit. I cut the back wheel frame and got everything ready to weld. I'm going to tack weld that into place, measure, make sure everything is equal distance so that I have a nice smooth running track. And then I'm going to make, I guess, a couple more brackets, like one to go here. Alright, so I made this piece here. It goes down and on that side, and then they're welded into the frame here, here, and then back here. So should give it a nice bit of rigidity to it. I'm going to take this gas tank. I finally got a cover from Amazon for it, a little to keep it a cap for it. And it's going to replace this super fancy, awesome deluxe Redneck Model 2.0 gas tank with the bungee cord. That's all going to come off. We're going to fit this one to it. I'm also going to bolt these to the steel pieces that we put in. Well, I got the rear fenders on, and I'm going to work on the metal, sheet metal piece that goes back to kind of close all of this up and look purda. Alright, kind of hard to do this and show, but my rear fender mock-up, compliments of Chewy.com. So I got my cardboard cutout transferred to this sheet metal. Still have some forming to do where it overlaps here. I'm gonna take it off and hammer it. This is just some more scrap stuff to kind of give it more of a dimension on the look. And once it's all painted, it'll blend together and the shapes become one. Mike came and sized up the seat, so we know that the seat will work with this tank. I have this dirt bike wheel sitting next to it. Basically, I want to replace the little bitty one that's there with something more substantial, bigger, and looks way cooler. So in order to fit this wheel in that spot, without doing a Springer front end, basically I measured keeping the same rake where it is, where it would touch on the fork, so that I could measure a distance from that center of the axle to the current one, and that gives me 5 1/4 inches. that I need to take out of these forks, which will in essence move the whole thing back up, and then put the front tire right here, which is still a perfect chopper position and everything. The key is going to be, I know somebody who is a professional welder will not have any trouble with this, and I know that I can do good penetration and good solid welds, but I think this is stainless steel, and so I have to look up on Google if I can use my regular MIG welder with gas for stainless steel, or if I have to use a TIG, which would be a problem since I don't have a TIG welder. But anyway, we'll do some research and look it up. Well, as you can see right here from Google, that you can and should use a MIG welder for stainless steel. So I am all set. I will probably have to buy some tubing, because I want to be able to put a steel tube on the inside so I can weld that for bracing it, and then I may even put up another tube on the outside, which is a bit overkill, but better safe than sorry. But anyway, you learn something new every day. You just gotta keep your eyes open. So I was all prepared to take the forks out and cut and weld and make it overly complicated, but what I found out was that when I opened up the top piece here, and part of the suspension was this rod in here on springs, and so when I popped that up, or the two caps off, this black rod came out, and I was able to move the forks up the 5 1/4 inches that I needed. And so it looks like all I'm going to need to do is cut this here. Now, it still has some travel with it with the spring, so I'll still have some suspension, it looks like. But ultimately, I can't think of a reason why this wouldn't work. Alrighty, well, look at this. So this is the headlight that's on it, and this is the headlight that's going to go on it. I think I'm going to go with black. I'm going to black out the frame, do a satin black enamel, and then I'll make the green and black pop, I think. So on the tank, I'll do this yellow, and then the top part green, yellow, green, and then down the center I'll do one yellow stripe, and then we'll have his logo right here, maybe one here. Well, it's like Christmas today because Stephen Chapman's missile launchers that he made for the Mighty Matmobile arrived, and I'm going to do a unboxing reveal and then do my best to put them together on the bike. And I've been waiting to permanently mount the tank so that I could get the right feel for everything, so it's not interfering with the rocket launchers, because the rocket launchers is more important than the gas tank. I mean, let's be realistic. So these are all of the pieces. They came, of course, bubble wrapped like a true professional, in bags, everything done. And he even did a video for me on YouTube on how to put it together. I, of course, am terrible at following instructions, so I'm going to try to do it without watching the instructions. But yes, let's see how it goes. All right, it's times like this where I wish I had somebody, a second person here filming me while I was doing this, because as I took it out of the box and as I was putting it together on the bike, I literally was squealing like a little kid. I mean, if you just look at it. I mean, Matthew, I'm starting to think that maybe I'm not making this for you. I got to keep it for myself because this is just too cool. I'm kidding. But Matthew, I think you are going to freaking love it. I mean, look at that. How the way that this is. Oh, you can't really see it. The way that he did this, there's this coupling piece here. There's a part that goes in to complete this, and then do this, or like that. You screw it all together, and the compression tightens. Then you get these level. You tighten down here. Then the cap goes in. As you tighten that, it expands out to hold it. And all you really have to do is paint it and glue the end pieces in. And the Mighty Matmobile now has freaking rocket launchers. All right.
I'm wearing my Darth Vader mask. Yeah.
Alright, so my black is done on the frame. So now I'm going to untape and unwrap all of this goodness. Alright, so I have painted the gas tank and rear section. Basically I've got it to the point where I have wet sanded it with 800 grit, and now that I have the pinstriping in place, I am going to put about 10 coats of clear on it and then polish that down to a nice glassy smooth finish. I'm getting ready to paint the rear fenders now. So the rear fenders are in black primer. So I have the base paint of the rear fenders done, and I'm taping it up, the green around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray yellow here, and it'll have the yellow round, and then Mighty Matmobile and his logo will be in yellow. And then I'll peel all of this off. I'll peel the top layer of this off, and it should look pretty slick. Let's hope, at least.
So, what is a hero? To me, a hero is somebody who does the right thing in the face of adversity, doesn't look for any kind of accolade, and does it even when they're not feeling like they should do something, or maybe just crawl up in the ball, and a hero just guts it out and does the right thing and helps people who need help. So that's why we decided to go ahead and do this for Matt, because he is that kind of person.
We were really fortunate to have the amazing leatherwork artist Mickey FLINT make this really cool superhero helmet for Matthew that just really kind of finishes off the whole superhero presentation. We are on the road again.
On the road again.
It would be nicer if my air conditioning worked.
It would be nicer. It's a little humid.
We are going to drop off 2 vehicles on the HCS Express. Well, we made it.
We're here.
We're here in Scranton, Pennsylvania. Kind of a middle point between us and Matthew, and should be here next 15 minutes or so. And then we will get to do our big reveal.
Handoff.
Yes. Right. So, Matthew, we're finally here at this point. You're almost too old to even use the thing. This is the gift from us to you that a bunch of people worked on to make something that was
Worthy of
superhero.
That's so cool.
When we met you, you know, you were this little kid, and you made a heck of an impression on Mike and myself, and it was more about honoring heroic behavior, you know, and the good example that you set. So we're both very proud of the person that we see via Facebook and all, and wanted you to have something to match the Mighty Matt. So
You should be riding a motorcycle without a nice helmet. There's your helmet.
and so this was made by Mickey FLINT, who I'm pretty sure you met.
Yeah.
And Mickey, he made that just for you. And yes, that's what we were kind of going for.
I can feel the lightning.
You look like a flash.
Yeah.
Can you buckle it?
I can't see.
Yeah.
Long enough.
That's cool.
Awesome.
So now we gotta get a picture of you sitting on it.
Exactly right, with the helmet.
Hat and cross, steampunk, we build new things from old junk. Copper, brass, wood and leather. Hatton Cross Steampunk, rolling art is our fun. Watch us as we put 'em all together.